Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to return to a country I've not been to for quite some time, and that is the Ukraine, and take a look at one of their older 24-hour rations. Now this contains 3 packs, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. So, as you can see, I now have here on the table this Ukrainian 24-hour ration. Now this one has expired. I don't know if you're picking that up there. It actually expired in 2019, so it's a little bit over a year out of date. It's a 24-hour ration, contains breakfast, lunch and dinner. Strong plastic bag, very similar to the USMRE, but obviously green and very much larger. So, let's just bring in one of my other old trusted friends to just open this up. There's no obvious tear strips for opening, so we just slit it across the back. Easy said than done. So straight off we see that each of the meals are individually wrapped, so we'll just get out the 3 individual meals there, and let's see if I can rearrange these into what I think is the breakfast, dinner and lunch. So they actually look like they're all pretty much the same. They're supposed to be different meals there. Try and work out which is which. I think that is the lunch, or that is the dinner, and that is the breakfast. So we're just trying to work out my very limited Ukrainian language skills there. So I think that is breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we'll start off with the breakfast. Now according to the outside of the bag, it did say there is crackers, rice and beef, liver pate and coffee. So we'll just slit this one open here. Let's try and have a look what we have. So straight off the top there is 2 of the crackers. There is a couple of large packs of what I believe is sugar. We have a coffee. There is a wet nap. This must be the rice and beef, very much battle damaged, a lot of heavy use, wear, transporting, and this is probably the liver pate. So that is the breakfast box. Then I think what is the lunch portion, so we'll just have a look what's in the lunch. And again, according to the outer packet, translation, lunch should just be canned meat. So there is some, what I believe is the canned meat, crackers, and again there are 2 more packs of the crackers. There is another wet nap, a tea, 2 more large sugars and another little napkin. And finally we'll just have a look at the what I think is the dinner or evening meal. Just use my friend to slit the bag there, and I believe this should be pearl barley with beef. So there is a tin of pearl barley with beef. 2 more crackers, so we have 6 crackers overall throughout the day, a lot of crackers. I'm not quite sure what that is. Probably a drink powder. I'll do a full translation. Obviously there are two of those powders, 2 more sugars and another tea and wet nap, little napkin. So this is the contents of the Ukrainian 24-hour ration. So let's come back and take a look at the breakfast components and get those out on a tray. See you in a minute. Now, as you can see, I have the breakfast portion of this Ukrainian 24-hour ration laid out on the tray. And for breakfast, just to refresh your memory, we have rice and beef. There is a liver pate, some crackers and coffee. So, I've had the tin of rice and beef boiling in water for 10 minutes. I've cracked the lid so there are no explosions there. And I think what we'll do is start with things that need a little bit of preparation. So this is the coffee. So it's just a normal sort of instant coffee there. Very fine looking powder. There's an extremely large packet of sugar. There is no whitener, so it's a very fine looking powder. 2 large portions of sugar. I should only have a little one of these. I should imagine these 2 would do for the whole 3 meals in my instance. But I'll just add a little like that first pack there. Put the rest to one side. Spill it. So it's just a standard granular sugar. And using another US MRE spoon, the trusty old MRE spoon, because no cutlery came with this, so I should imagine the troops carry their own cutlery. We shall just give it about half a cup. Again, a lot of these sachets, they say a full mug, but very rarely do they make a decent coffee if you have a full mug. But so we'll just give that one half. No whitener in this instance. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go along, have a look at what should be the liver pate. Just a very simplistic looking tin. The tins look very cheap in manufacture, but that is certainly a very dark looking liver pate. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of the deep rich liver flavour in there. We shall just crack open the rice and beef. Nice large portion, and just wipe my hands there. 2 packs of crackers. 2 packs of crackers in every meal. I should just open one. I should imagine again one of these packs of crackers will last for the lunch and dinner also, so there's no need to open them all, and we'll just get a couple of those out. So there's 4 crackers in each pack, so 8 crackers in total. So let's just, for demonstration purposes, let's just get this rice and beef into a bowl there. Just bring your spoon back. So large portion. There's a lot of juice in there. I think that's fat. It looks like it's fat. Let's move the tin out of the way. Good old mix around, break up those lumps. Okay, very lumpy, very stodgy. No extra salt, no extra pepper, so you've just got what comes with the pack. So we'll start straight away with the rice and the beef. So very glutinous looking, very stodgy looking. Not a lot of gravy going on in there. Let's have a little taste of that. Extremely simple flavours. There is salt, pepper, the rice, the fat from the beef, very little else. I can't taste anything else in there. Fatty, you can feel the grease from the melted fat. The rice grains, it looks more like a pearl barley as opposed to rice. It's called rice, but I think that is probably more of a barley, looking at it close up and tasting it. For me, not the most appetizing dish. It's very greasy, very oily. As you eat it, your tongue is coated in a fat, melted fat. The pearl barley, it still has it all. It's called rice, but it looks like pearl barley. Still has some texture. It's like beads in your mouth. The beef is ground beef. Very little flavour. Extremely fatty. Personally, not one of my favourite dishes out there. I think, to be honest, if I ate that entire portion, I would feel quite sick from the amount of grease and oils that are in there. Small portion, I think would be okay. The whole portion would make me feel quite ill by my Western English style standards. So let's have a look at one of these crackers. They look a little bit more baked than the usual Panzer crackers, Panzer plates. A little bit softer also. Nice crisp crack. Very simple wheat cracker. Again, very little flavour. It doesn't seem like there's any salt or caraway seeds or any other flavouring. It's very simplistically, just seems like baked wheat with water and baked into a biscuit. Obviously, it's a bulking agent. There's 2 packs, so let's try a little bit with the beef and rice. Again, not over inspiring, very lacking in flavour. Personally, I think it could do with some extra salt and pepper, or a little bit of hot sauce or something just to give it some lift. Let's just have a look at the liver pate. Very soft, very smooth, very creamy. Have a little taste on its own. Extremely liver rich. This feels just like ground liver. Normally when you have a pate, you have the liver flavour, but you have a feeling there's something else in there to make it smooth. This just feels like it is just liver been stuck in a blender, in a liquidizer, and turned into a paste. Again, I do like liver pates, but this is a little bit too much. Too much in that blood liver flavour. Again, not my favourite, not my personal best. Quick look at the coffee. Again, coffee, not the best quality. My opinion, again, is only my opinion, but poor quality. 2 sachets of coffee would have been needed for that much water. A little bit of whitener would also have helped. Maybe that's why there is so much sugar. If you put a larger or more amount of sugar in there, it might help, but again, low quality, not exceptionally good. Try a little bit of this liver pates on the spoon with the rice and beef. So there's a little bit on the bottom of the spoon there. Does add a little bit more flavour. So a little bit more, try a little bit more. A little bit more of the pate. Personally, that just gives it a lift for both. The liver is too powerful for myself, for my taste on its own. The rice and beef is too bland and fatty. Mix the two together, plenty of the rice and the beef, small amount of the liver pate. That just lifts it, so makes it a little bit more palatable, a little bit more flavour. Overall, I can't say this is one of my favourite meals. In fact, it's one of the least favourite I've had up to now. Quick recap. The coffee, very mild, very weak, very inexpensive style coffee. 2 sachets I think was needed in that half mug of water. A little bit of whitener might have helped, but it's still difficult to say. It's still not the good quality coffee. The liver pate just seems like it is just a liver dropped in a blender and whizzed around until it went puree. That's it. There doesn't feel like there's any other agents in there. So very, very, very liver intensive flavour. A little bit too much for my own personal likings. The rice and the beef, oily, tasteless, not a lot of flavour, just the standard salt and pepper. Again, very stodgy. If I ate the whole bowl of that, I'm sure in my stomach that amount of oil and grease would start to give me digestion problems. The addition of the liver pate with the rice and beef helped a little with the flavouring, but still not, in my opinion, again, a very pleasant breakfast. Crackers, extremely basic, taste like flour and water baked, that's it. You don't get the impression there's anything else in there, no salt, no pepper, no other flavourings. Does seem a little bit bland to go with everything else. Everything else is quite bland. I'll just have a quick look at the wet nap. So, simple looking wet nap. Again, this is dried out. Totally dry. There is no moisture left in that. It is a year past its best before, but you would expect the wet nap to survive. No water, no moisture, gone. Totally dry. Dry piece of tissue now. So useless as a wet nap. Overall, very, very disappointing breakfast. Nothing on there I would personally say is enjoyable. If you was desperately hungry, it's edible, but I would certainly never choose any of this as a first choice. Let's hope that the lunch and dinner components have a little bit more promise. So join me on the next video where I shall have a look at their lunch and dinner. But for now, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos and part 2 of this 24-hour ration coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.